watch here. 17th in the coaches poll. Coach entering his 16th season as the head coach of the team. Steve Fisher leads the San Diego State Aztecs. The Aztecs had a good season last year. 31-5, 16-2 in the Mountain West. Made it as a 4 seed, beat New Mexico and North Dakota State, but ended up losing to Arizona in the Sweet 16. This has been 5 straight seasons for San Diego State in the NCAA tournament, and 9 straight seasons in postseason play. I would be very surprised if they didn't make it back this year. Steve Fisher's a fantastic coach. He's got a very talented team behind him. Xavier Thames is obviously gone. He was the key cog of this team, and he led them in a number of ways in terms of scoring, rebounding. He was really the jack of all trades player for this team. Josh Davis is also gone. He played a minimum. He rebounded a lot, 10 rebounds a game, so he'll be missed. And James Johnson, who's a sparsely used reserve guard, elected to transfer. Really like the recruiting class from this team. Three instant impact guys. Malik Pope is a small forward from Laguna Creek High School in Sacramento. Consensus 4-star prospect. Good length and athleticism, chance to be good. Zolan Cheatham is a 6'8" power forward from Phoenix, 4-star prospect. And Trey Kell is a 6'4" shooting guard from San Diego, who's a 3 to 4-star prospect. And then Kevin Szabo hails from Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, and he's a 3-star prospect. So good recruiting class, chance to be really solid in terms of in terms of where he goes, for this season, but really talented, I think, this team. But it's going to be led by Winston Shepard. Winston Shepard is really my pick for entire college basketball to break out this season. 11 points per game, 5 rebounds. As the star of this team, he could conceivably make a run for an All-American. I really think he's that talented. He'll be assisted by a couple of guys, Dwayne Poli II, J.J. O'Brien. They've got some tough games ahead of them, but I think this team's the favorite to win the Mountain West. Definitely not the easiest schedule. I like the scheduling that Steve Fisher's done. They've got the college basketball tip-off marathon. The toughest game of that is a home game against Utah. I'll talk about Utah in my Pac-12 preview, but basically, my pick for the sleeper team in the entire country. I think people are really sleeping on Utah. Really talented, led by Jordan Loveridge and Delon Wright. Really talented. Wouldn't be surprised to see Delon Wright go in the first round. So that'll be fun, definitely to watch. Then they've got the Maui Invitational. BYU, Pittsburgh could be in the fold. Then away games against Washington and Cincinnati. I talked about the game against Cincinnati. I think they'll win that one. And then the gateway game against Washington, I also think they'll win that one. So not the toughest non-conference schedule, but keep in mind this is a team that's never really been a team that's gone out and scheduled super tough non-conference games. So I think this team has talent, and I think they can go places, and I think they'll win this conference with ease. Last year, the Colorado State Rams went 16-16, 7-11 in Mountain West Conference play, but the year before, they made it to the second round, or actually the third round, if you want to call it like that, of the NCAA tournament. So, why do I think a team that went 16-16 and brought in one 3-star prospect can make a run? Well, I think the team returns most of their real talent and has a chance to be really solid. Now, Jesse Carr didn't play last season. He was a good player. Retired due to a knee injury, which is really sad. But, he didn't want to hurt himself, so I can understand that. A couple guys transferred out of the program. Jordan Mason didn't really play last year. He transferred to Cal State Fullerton. Garrison Santo, who was a Brazilian, he graduated. Dwight Smith, who didn't really play, he made about 13 minutes per game, transferred to Northern Colorado. And David Cohn, who got 15 minutes per game and scored 4 points, transferred to William and Mary. So this team got in Jeremiah Page, who's a shooting guard from Aurora, Colorado, as their only recruit. But the player to watch on this team is J.J. Avila. He really is more of a forward than a guard, I'd say. But he's 6'7", 246, former U.S. Naval, foremost member of the U.S. Navy. So he's got experience definitely in a lot of areas. I'd call him a Swiss Army knife kind of player. He can kind of really do it. And that's a phrase I stole from CBS Sports, but yeah, I'd call him a Swiss Army knife type of player. He really can do it all. John Octius and Daniel Bejarano are also both back. Those guys really have a chance to really make a difference this year, I think. Well, actually, I don't think John Octius is back. I don't know where he went. That's interesting. They listed him on the roster here. I'm not sure where he went. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, that's my mistake. I thought he was there because he wasn't listed. Yeah. I think the conference has a chance to send... I think they have a chance to send this team to the World Series. What am I saying? Tournament. I think really a lot of talent. We look at the non-conference schedule. Montana, not the same without Wayne Tinkle. Georgia State, Mercer, obviously most notable for beating Duke last year. Part of the Great Alaska Shootout. And they've got Missouri State, Pacific, or Alaska Anchorage. Not really anything that sticks out to me. The best game on the schedule is at Colorado. Obviously, that's a huge rivalry between the two teams. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a run. Definitely. I think that this team has talent. Obviously, J.J. Avila really interests me in terms of his skill set. I'm never going to doubt Larry Eustace coming into his third or fourth, I don't remember, as head coach of this team. But, this might be a controversial pick because they're not really a consensus pick to pick high in the tournament. But also the team picking right after them is also not a consensus pick. It's Wyoming. Now, don't get me wrong. Wyoming, obviously, they're not a great athletic program because they play in the middle of nowhere. Not a huge school. I really believe in Larry Chiat's squad this year. Larry Nance was picked by the coaches to win Player of the Year, and he's also my Player of the Year for this conference. A lot of people are doubting him because they're like, should we give a Player of the Year to a team that's not going to finish in the top three? I'll give you that they will finish in the top three. Larry Nance Jr. really takes this team to new levels. And their other top two scorers, Josh Adams, he's back as a junior, and Riley Grabow, he's back as a senior. They did lose a couple of guys. Nathan Sobey graduated. He's an Australian. Guys like Charles Hankerson played 17 minutes a game, graduated. Jaron Granberry played 25 minutes a game, and he graduated. So, a lot of talent on this team. I think Larry Nance is really going to break out this year. He averaged 15.4 points per game. I'll make an estimate that he averages 17.5 this year. Let's take a look at the schedule now for Wyoming. Open the season against Northern Colorado. Then they've got Western State, and then Colorado at home. That's a game to watch, I think. Colorado's obviously a good team, but Wyoming's also a good team. Then they got a couple of cupcakes, and then they're at SMU. Obviously, I think at SMU is a tough game. Regis, a division whatever school, I don't even know, I've never heard of it. And then they're at Cal. Obviously, Cal with a new coach this year, in Quanzo Martin, new regime. I think this team is really talented in terms of where they can go in the future. But obviously, this is their year to win now with Larry Nance a senior. I think I'll do it for them. I think they can make the tournament this year. I really do. I think Wyoming is a really sleeper team. And the team that I'm putting next is the team that people are going to be like, oh my god, I can't believe you haven't put this team in the tournament. This team didn't compete in postseason play last year. Now, I know they weren't invited to the NIT, and they claimed, I'm putting air quotes here, injuries were the reason to not attend a lower-level tournament. I really think, we're Boise State, we don't want to be prestige by playing in the CBI or the CIT. Yeah, it's Boise State. This team, really talented, I think. I say that with every single team. Anthony Dermich and Derek Marks are the two best guards in the conference. That's all I have to say. Size. Ryan Watkins is gone. It's going to be tough this year to find good size, obviously. Mikey Thompson is a guard. Thomas Broleff, he left, graduated. So this team is going to need to find some size somewhere if they want to really compete. But the guards are obviously the best in the conference. Leon Rice is a proven coach with the capacity to build a winner. He's brought the team to the tournament just 2 seasons ago. This is a team that I think really has a chance to be good, but I don't think they'll make the I don't think they make the tournament this year. They're talented, but they need some work to be done. Didn't pull in a great recruiting class. Chandler Hutchinson comes in, was not rated by 247 or Rivals, but was given an 83 by ESPN and a 4-star rating by Scout. Joins from Mission Viejo, California, high school. Good-sized forward, probably play more of a small forward role. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get some game time this year. He'll be a good player. Let's look at the schedule. San Diego and Loyola Marymount in the LMU Classic. Montana, they've got Idaho in a neutral site game, and then 3 tough away games. At Wisconsin, at NC State, and at St. Mary's. At Wisconsin is probably going to be the only game on this schedule I'm willing to call a definite loss. It's tough to beat Wisconsin at the Kohl Center. It's even tougher to beat a top 5 Wisconsin team. At NC State, toss-up. At St. Mary's, also a toss-up. Those are talented teams on the road. Could see either of them. And then they've got a couple of lower-level teams: Adams State, Northwest Nazarene, Southern Utah, Abilene Christian. Then Houston at home. Then they go to Orleans Arena for the Las Vegas Classic. Houston, and then either Texas Tech or Loyola Chicago before starting off the conference schedule. Anthony Dermich and Derek Marks are 2 of the most talented guards in the conference. Boise State's recruiting is not up to par, and I think there are more talented teams in this conference. So the team I'm picking to finish 5th, a team that made the tournament last year and lost in the first round, is New Mexico. New Mexico, been a really good team the last couple of years. They lost 3 of their key players. Cameron Bairstow, who averaged 20 points per game on 55% shooting. He's gone. He joined the NBA draft. Kendall Williams has graduated. And Alec Kirk is gone. Cameron Bairstow, 2nd-round pick by the Bulls. Kendall Williams, undrafted, playing in... I'm not sure where he's playing. I don't know what this team is. He's playing at Victoria Libertas Pesaro, which is an Italian team. And then Alex Kirk also went undrafted, but signed with the Cavaliers. So, obviously it would have been nice to have Alex Kirk back for his senior season. He's really talented. But I guess this team, they just know how to win. Cullen Neal, son of Coach Craig, has a chance to be good. Xavier Adams, I think, is a sleeper prospect as a guard forward. Joe Furstinger, I don't really know much about, but he was a 3-star prospect. I think it's really tough for Mountain West Conference teams to recruit effectively against Pac-12 teams. But they find diamonds in the rough, like Bairstow, Williams, and Alex Kirk. But this year, I'm not too sure this team will compete. The schedule's not super tough. Idaho State, Cal State Fullerton, and then they go to Puerto Rico, and they start off against a Boston College team I think they can definitely beat. And then they've got either George Mason or West Virginia. Southern California at home. The rest of the schedule is pretty easy. A home-and-home against New Mexico State in the Rio Grande rivalry. Valparaiso on the road. UL Monroe. Central Arkansas and Grand Canyon. I think this is a good team. I don't think they'll make a return to the NCAA tournament.